Hey YouTube, how's it going? Hey everyone. So we're gonna get started on this DevOps. All right, let's go ahead and go to. We're gonna do 100 days of DevOps. Hopefully we could do it before then. So let's get started. Um, I'm gonna do this again because my recording was, didn't turn out really well. It was pretty bad. So my sound was messed up, so I had to keep doing this over and over again. So that's a little bit hassle, but that's no problem though. We get this situated and get this working as intended. So I'm pretty excited what we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn all this stuff, and we're gonna be good at it. All right, so let's go ahead and exit this panel. All right, let's read this. To accommodate the backup agent tools specifications, the system admin team at xFusionCorp Industries required the creation of a user with a non-interactive shell. Here's your task. So we need to create a username, Javid, with the non-interactive shell on app server 1. All right. So, no, you can find the infrastructure details by clicking on the details of all users and servers button on the right section, on the top right section. Okay, let's go there. So, we're going to go here. Check this out. So, what we're looking at, this is the infrastructure. Let's scroll up. So, Project Nautilus overview. Project Nautilus is run by the Naval Subdivision with xFusionCorp Industries. The Nautilus application helps the naval forces to make smart procurement decisions on manned and unmanned maritime systems while ensuring that operation requirements are met. It aims to provide best-in-class operational support, improve the safety and life extension of existing machines, and reduce the cost of ownership. The current repertoire: number 1, sonar technology and systems. Number 2, LUSV, large unmanned surface vehicles. Autonomous unmanned undersea pods. Then you have nuclear submarines. Then you have laser guidance systems. Application architecture. So Nautilus deployment architecture can be viewed here. The Nautilus is a 3-tier application and is deployed in the Stratus data center in the North American region. Oh, we're going to look at this later. Okay, data tier. The data tier is the layer that stores data with the retrieval, storage, and execution methods made by the application layer. We are making use of MariaDB, which is one of the most popular open source relational databases. Application tier. Make use of a LAMP, which is a stack of open source software that can be used to create web applications. LAMP is an acronym that usually consists of the Linux OS, Apache HTTP server, a MySQL relational DB like MariaDB, and PHP. All right, cool. So client tier. Application client, which in this case is a web browser software that processes and displays HTML. Okay, resources issues HTML requests for resources and processes HTML responses. Load balancer, Nginx, is used for HTTP load balancing to distribute requests through multiple application servers. All right, cool. Shared services, storage filer, a NAS, network attached storage filer, is used to provide reliable and stable external storage for the application tier servers. SFTP server. SFTP, which stands for SSH file transfer protocol, is used to transfer data among two remote systems. Backup server, a staging backup system used for short-term archival. Jump server, the intermediate host or an SSH gateway to a remote networking host, the Nautilus application. Okay, and then we have the infrastructure details right here. and then we have the server. So it's STAPP01, STAPP02, STAPP03, STLB01, STDB01, STOR1, STBKP01, STPmail01, jump host, Jenkins. All right, then we have your IP addresses 172.16.38.10, 172.16.38, and then it goes 10, 11, 12, 14, and then you hit up, then you go to 172.16.239, 10, and then so on. And then this is dynamic, jump host dynamic, and then this have an IP address for Jenkins. Then we have the host names for each of the server names. So it's STP01, STP02, STP3, STP01, STP01, STP05. And then we have the users. So each users are connected to the server and host name: Tony, Steve, Banner, Loki, Peter. And then we have the passwords: American, Big Green, Purpose, and you have Nautilus application 1. And then you have Nautilus application 1, and then you have Nautilus application 2, then Nautilus application 3, and Nautilus HTTP LBR, and Nautilus DB server, and so on, right? And you got your jump server and stuff. All right, cool. So let's go back to where we were. Go to the dashboard. No, yeah, go to here, KodeKloud. So what we need to do is we create a user named David with a non-interactive shell on app server 1. All right, cool. So let's look up some documentation how to do this. Okay, let's look up documentation. Let's refer to documentation right now. See, it says jump host, right? We don't really know what that means. Let's say we don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, right? So let's just try to so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look up some documentation, right? So let's see on this jump host. So let's go to new tab and jump host in Linux. What is that? What is that? Okay, so what is a jump host in Linux? Jump host server in Linux. Okay. Maybe man pages. Manual pages. Ubuntu. So trying to figure out. Okay, here we go. We could go here. So part about this is just referring to documentation. What is a jump server? A jump server is a server that's used to access other servers. It is also known as a bastion host. It is a server that is accessible from the internet and is used to access other servers that are not accessible from the internet. And above example application service called jump server. For example, you might have it infrastructure. So yeah, so basically, yeah, it's a jump server is a used server that used to access other servers, right? And then we go back to here. This is this server's right here, so and then we could just jump to the server. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So right now, we need to go ahead and get into Tony, right? Because he's part of the Nautilus app 1. So we need to go ahead and log into this. So we need to log into the server and use the user Tony, right? All right. So let's go ahead and do that. So I like to always do which am I? So man pages, okay. Okay, man SSH. So this is a that's cool. It tells you that when man means manual, so we're able to look through the whole documentation or manual to figure things out. It shows you information. Okay, so let's look up man SSH. So what's SSH do? SSH is a program for logging into a remote machine and for executing commands on a remote machine. It is intended to provide secure encrypted communication between two untrusted hosts over an insecure network. X11 connections, arbitrary TCP ports, and Unix domain sockets. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. And also be forward over. Okay. So what we got to do is we got to SSH Tony, and then what was that? What was the server that we got to get into? STAPP01. Okay, so let's go to that. So we would need to do at, right? STAPP1. So we're SSHing user at the server. Okay. The authenticacy. I can't say the word. Authenticacy. Authentic. Let's see. Authenticacy. Authentic. Authentics. When I hear it, I'll be able to say it. Basically, the authenticacy of host STAP 10.244.247.216 can't be established. ED25519 key fingerprint is a SHA-256. So SHA, let's look this up. This might be a hash. And hashes we could get into that. So let's look into that. Hash is basically secure hash algorithm. Yeah. So is it a cryptic hash functions? Okay, let's go back. Anyways, this key is not known by any other names. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes. And fingerprint, that's good. What is that? We could look that up too. What is that? See, it's good to like understand every single thing you're trying to do. You know what I mean? So you could get an idea. So a fingerprint is a clearance card about fingerprint clearance. So fingerprint in Linux. What's that? A record, a fingerprint before you can log in with the fingerprint. You need a record. And then let's go to man pages. Let's see if man pages has that. Let's go with this one right here. So management daemon. Let's go to description. This manual page documents briefly the fprints. Let's see. Fingerprint. Fingerprint. Fingerprint man pages. Oh, bingo, here we go. Finger displays information about systems. Displays the user login name, real name, terminal name, and right. But what about print though? Let's try it. Fingerprint. Oh, you know what? Let's go to Google and go like, what is fingerprint in Linux? So let's do this. This is a trick we could do. And if we do if I remember right, if we do quotations, it will basically narrow the search down and talk about it. So fingerprint usually refers to either biometric, you use authentication, print, or scanner, fprint. Oh, fprint project. Okay, so I guess let's see. So I guess that's the same thing then, right here. Finger. I think that was the same thing. Fingerprints and man pages. Let's go here again. Let's see. Yeah, man, ARP fingerprint system using. No, that's not it. So Ubuntu. I'm curious. Oh, so fingerprint man pages terminal. Let's get more specific. Okay. This might be it. Fingerprint management tools, fprint. I guess it's similar. So basically, it's just username for finger involved, fingerprint. What I want, I want a direct. Oh, so are you sure connecting? Okay, so we could say connecting using fingerprint in Linux. Let's try using that. Using the terminal when connecting with fingerprint man pages. Okay, there we go. So yeah, again, it's a skill to be able to use, you know, to search online and research fingerprint. So this is it. No, let's go setting up a fingerprint authentication. Fingerprint readers. Why fingerprint authentication? Fingerprint authentication provides a quick and more often convenient alternative to typing passwords repeatedly instead of entering complex phrases. Okay, so maybe it's like one of those things that you just put your hand on, put your finger, and then you have your biometrics, and then like a key code or something like that. You touch it on your phone or a thumbstick, something like that. So let's get back on track. So yes, I want to be sure. Okay, warning: permanently added stat ED25 to list the known host connection closed by this port 22. Okay, so we actually are in. So now, so now Tony, we need to I'm the regular. Let's see where I'm at. Who am I? Okay, so I'm still Thor. So I'm SH in, right? Now my main thing I gotta do is I gotta become the administrator now that I'm in. So Tony's a normal account, and basically I need administrator rights. So we use a command. We could do sudo. Use this command. Man sudo. Sorry. So basically, sudo is just like being an administrator. So sudo allows a permanent user to execute a command as a super user or another user. So basically, you're the manager. You're the owner. Okay. And when you're the owner, you could do anything you want on your system. So right now, I'm just a regular user. Just think about like a father, a mother. They're more they have more authority than a child, right? Than their children. So, and the children represents Tony, and then the pseudo represents the mother or father, the parents. Okay, let's quit this. So now we got it. So we would use, and then let's look up another command su, right? Let's see what this. So su allows commands to be run with a substitute user and an ID, right? So when we do this, it switches you to root administrator on the server. All right. sudo and su is, pretty much the same thing, I believe. So su allows commands to be run with the substitute of user and group ID. So well, let's actually confirm that too. I usually use sudo, but I believe it's the same thing though. Is su same as sudo? It's probably the difference. Ubuntu man pages. Okay, so let's see. Oh wait. So alright, so su command stands for switch user. Okay, no, it's not different. So switch user allows a user to change their current user identity to another user. By default, if no username is specified, su will switch to the root user. When using su, you need to provide a password of the target user. This command is useful when you need to perform administrative tasks that require root privileges, but it also poses a security risk if misused. Sudo, okay. The sudo command stands for super user do. It enables a user to execute commands with elevated privileges on a temporary basis, unlike su, which switches the entire user session to another user. Sudo allows you to run a single command as a root user or another specified user without having to switch users permanently. To use sudo, a user must be listed in the sudo's file, which defines which users or groups are allowed to use sudo and which commands they can execute. Okay, and this is the command su, right? And then it's su username. If you want to specify user other than root, you can specify user name as argument, and then to run the command as another user without switching the times user sessions, you could do suc, and then let's see. Okay, so yeah, and what would we call it? Yeah, this is usually updating your packages, updating your you just show your operating system. Use that a lot. Administrators could do that. Okay, let's get back. So we're gonna use sudo su. We're gonna execute commands with elevated privileges as well as switching users. Okay. So let's try that. So we'll do how do we do this? So a sudo su dash, right? So we're there. Now we in. So now we switch to the root administrator on the account of the server, right? Okay, now what we got to do is we got to create a user, create a nologin. We got to create a user, create Javid now. Okay, so let's do that. So how do we do that? We could just check on so users. I don't think we could do man pages here, but let's see how to create users. This is a good site too. It's good to bookmark. Let's just keep that there. So create users in Ubuntu Linux man pages. I always go to the man pages. You're gonna get because there's a lot of resources online, but I just always got to go straight to the core of it, the source. So user add, we could use this. So create a new user or update a default user. So we'll do user add, and then we'll do Javin, and then with that, let's see, what is this? These are options which apply to user commands. So let's see. We're looking for something that has to do around shell. Oh, right here. The name of the user login shell. The default is to leave the field blank, which causes the system to select the default login shell specified by the shell variable. So what we're gonna do is, so far we gathered user add Javin -s, and then what do we do next? So we're creating user Javin and setting their shell. We gotta remember, we gotta set their we gotta make them a non-interactive shell. All right. Let's see, where was that at? Okay. So it'll be that so far. And let's see. What next do we do? So we set that to the shell. Yeah, I think, and we gotta see. Does it say about login? Like no login or something? Login? Okay, so home directory, no login, no log edit. Do not add a user to the last log. So the system itself replacing default. So we could do files. So login here, shadow password. What else do we need to do? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we'll do that. But are we missing anything? Let's see. Let's go to the Nautilus and see. Let's see. User add. Let's try this. Let's like try to put that in there. I want to see what we search for that. What's this? System users. So what is this? Add username to bin bash, create user with a specific login shell. Okay. So let's try to, what is this? Non-interactive shell. So we need to do it with the non-interactive shell. So let's see, does this say shell? Create user with a specific login shell. Creating user specific login shell. When a user is created, its login shell is set to the one was specified in its fault. etc default user add file and some default set to bin. Okay. So here's an example showing create a user user bin. Okay, let's keep going. Show bin. Let's you change the default user shell. You can verify this. Okay, bin bash. Okay, what about, let's see, non-interactive shell. Let's try that. Let's go to, let's let things up. No encrypted, no, just basically searching, trying to figure this out. Oh, what's this? Crowd to create user for non-direct shell on Linux. So, overview, manage Linux, sudo John ID, sbin, what's this? Creating a user with a non-direct shell now lets you create a username, Sam, and assign it to a non-direct shell using sbin. Login shell. This can be done with the following command. But what does sbin mean? Okay, so you do. Is this the same thing? User. Oh, add user. User add user. So let's look this up. Let's go. Versus user add. Let's see. User add versus difference. Let's see. Let's check this out. User add is a built-in Linux command that can be found on a Linux system. However, creating a new user is a little of a tedious task because it doesn't create the home directory and user password default. Add user is not a standard Linux command. It's essentially a Perl script. Oh, that uses the use add command in the background to high level. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so we'll do user add, right? Because this is integrated. And then we got to figure out what sbin means. Sbin, what is sbin? Sbin's, what is sbin? The sbin shell is a special shell used to prevent a user from logging in a system interact while a user, when to assign user, any attempt by that user to log in will be denied, making it ideal for service accounts or user who should not have access. But we need to figure out what does sbin mean. So sbin. So let's see. Let's break this down. All right, so we know how to do it, right? But let's just try to look up sbin. How do we do this? Let's keep this site. I like this one. So sbin. What does sbin mean in Linux? Okay. Oh, here we go. So binaries. sbin. Sbin name stands for system binary. It's a distant from /bin in a very minute way. For the most part, the sbin directory stores the binaries required by the operators for system management. Binaries stored in sbin include shutdown, similar to the views. Okay, so basically it's just a is when we do that. So we're I guess if we do sbin, right? We're saying user add the user Javen shell to sbin, which is the directory that stores the binaries required by for system management. So we're storing this. It's still not clear. Hold on, let's see. I want to get it more on the. Okay, sbin. So sbin. Think. Let's go over here. This is if we use it sbin. Is for the other system level binaries, mostly for bootloader and system administrator. So what does it what does it mean when you do sbin on a user in Linux? See, I'm trying to break this down to like really understand this, right? So adding sbin to a user's path doesn't inherently make the system less secure, especially if it's but it uses sudo for it. However, it exposes administration of commands to their shell environment. Increases likelihood additional mitigate risk. Okay, so when you should, oh, here we go. Add sbin to path. Adding sbin to a user path to appropriate when the user frequently uses command from sbin or user bin. The system is trusted or personal environment. Comments always. So divvying the value of excluding sbin and user bin from regular user path. So we're adding this to the user path. I think so. So no login, right? Let's try that. What does that mean? No, I don't. Okay, when sbin is set to show if the user wants with that shell logs in and they get polite message saying their account is currently not available. This message can be changed for been false. Okay, no, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. So, let's see, sbin. Okay, the shell associated with that user determines whether the user can log into activity for non-use shell like sbin, so login. So system binaries. This can be used to users try to log in with one of those shell system reject login attempt. So sudo use add live services sbin. So in this command, s option specifies a shell for the user. By setting it to sbin login, we ensure that the user cannot log in interactivity. Oh, so it's basically, yeah, we're not gonna. The user won't be able to have an interactive shell. Perfect. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go user add jvin or jvid, and then do // sbin / no login. All right, there we go. And then what we did, we created a user jvid and set the show to no login. Right, and now what? Now we just got to verify this. So there's a command. We gotta do this pretty fast because we don't have that much time. How to verify the user was created. Man pages. Okay. Was created. Let's see, here we go. See the Adtron, Captivus, I don't know. Auth. So let's see. Man ls man user add created. But what I know right now to finish this up, we could just use a command called get int. So get ent is basically it verifies your account. So let's go ahead and look that up real quick. Let's get more. Get ent in Linux. Okay, so get, what is it? Get ent. Get ent Linux. It's right there. Getting command is a powerful tool that allows user to access entries from various tech supports or databases. Thanks. So getting command with several things. So we're gonna do get in, retrieve the user account information of John. Yeah, we'll do that at Jevin. We'll get So we'll get the information from that. We got to do this fast. So get in password PASSWDJAVED. There we go. He's logged in. This is all he's created. And now we should be able to exit this leave. Again, exit command is, what is this? So man, exit. Let's see. Exit, what is this? Exit. So exit utility shall cause the shell to exit from its current execution environment with the X status specified by the unsigned decimal. So basically just exiting the terminal or exiting the session. Exiting any exit way I logged out. Okay. So now we go check, continue, and let's go. Oh. What did we do? What happened? Java does not exist on App Server 1. What? How did this happen? I thought we did. We've JAVED. We use it at Javid, right? Why does it say that user? We added Javid and it said here SS sbin, no login. I did here and then I don't know. I don't know if it's bugged though. But we could do this again really quickly. But that's really weird. And then we even got the password to him. And then he was added though. What did we miss? Yeah, I don't know why that said that. You can also view the results in dashboard active factor base. Okay, so yeah, we could do that. Let's go there. You could also view the result in the dashboard under active practice page. Okay, let's try this. Let's stop the lab. Wait, no, can we still? Oh, wait. Can we still, like... Yeah, he exists. I don't know why he's saying, see? I think it's a bugged out. But we did it right, guys. So yeah. So we could go there. We could go check it out, activity or active practice. I forgot what did it say. Let's go to the progress. I don't know where we could go to check that out because that's really concerning. Active practice. Oh, maybe because I did it before already. So yeah. Okay. All right, guys. That was it. That was like, so what we did was we just went through the documentation, read, different things, different like keywords. I can't recall. Should have wrote it down. Like what is a jump host? We're jumping to a server. Accessing another server. And then SSH is, we remotely connect securely or whatnot. And then we got into root. We made we SSH into what was it, into Tony, right? And then the server stat, right? And so we basically log into the server STAPP, right? And then we using the user Tony, right? And then we just became the administrator using sudo and then switching it over to we switched over to the administrator of the root, right, on the server, and then we did a user add, created Javid, right, and gave him a shell and put it into binaries, system binaries, so administrative first administrative task, and we made sure that he has no login, right? We created, Javid and set the shell to the no login so they can't log in and run commands, right? And so, and then we checked it as well with get int, GETENT with the password of, you know, password of Javid, right? So yeah, so we verified the account, right? And the password, shows, you know, oh man, what was that again? The password shows, uh, what was it again? It just shows the user that's created and his passwords and stuff. But what we did was we did get in passwords. So he checked and verified his account basically. So get ENT password John. Let's say Javid. So doing this right here, we get retrieves user account information. So this gets the information, yeah. And then so we get int. So get ENT password. It's kind of tricky because you think it's getting his password. It's not. You're just getting his account information. So get in password Javid, and then that just basically verifies the account and shows that, the information of the account. So that was it, guys. Oh, also we exited. So we left the root shell, and then we left the server doing another like logging out, and going back to normal how we started on jump host. But yeah, yeah, thank you guys. I'll put the link in my description so you could join me. I have a link that you could join. You could sign up with. So yeah, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and thank you so much. Take it easy. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and have a good night or a good morning or wherever you are. Thank you very much. Take care. Peace out.